morning. You made it. Maybe I should say I made it. It's like 34 degrees or something like that. Pretty nippy. Using the 20 degree light equipment Enigma quilt. It does pretty good. I say that's kind of the survival rating. The warmth rating is usually 20 degrees over it, I believe. So this trip, I got this Sea to Summit sleeping bag liner. It did make a big difference. We've got about 1.5 miles to go to get to the car. So it's not bad. And the worst part is probably just going to get packed up because it's going to be really cold and I'm going to want to be moving fast. And everything's cold. Oh, embrace the suck, Jeff. Yep, embrace it. Why did I do this to myself? I was wiping the condensation off the top of the tent. Look at that, there's ice. Went to eat my usual breakfast energy waffle, and it was all but frozen. I had to put it in the sleeping bag for a while to warm it up, just so it's soft enough to chew. The fun. To embrace the warmth of the sleeping bag, or the suck of this cold temperature and gear. What was that? Did you just ask me, why did I come out here? Oh, embrace the suck. True, but that was kind of mean. You could have just said, why don't you enjoy that sleeping bag a little longer, Jeff, and then embrace the suck. It begins. Got all the wet clothes in here, and they're cold. All the stuff that's going in the pack is now in the pack. This stuff will go on the outside pouch. And now, the boots. Cold, wet boots. I have a waterproof sock with a wool sock underneath it. Hopefully that'll make it more bearable. It's still gonna not be fun. Because of the wind last night, I put this like leaf barrier to keep it from blowing in the tent so much. And that part worked well. The outside of the tent is really dry. So the inside had the condensation, probably because I had all the storm doors closed, but I had them closed because the wind kept changing direction. And when it came in, it was super cold. You gotta pick your poison, I guess. Okay, all packed up, ready to go. We'll start heading out. I think I misspoke earlier. I think it's 3 miles out from the shelter, not 1.5 miles. I was thinking 1.5 hours because that's what I was thinking it would take me to get out. I guess I'm just tired. But since we have 3 miles to go and we're on ski trails, why don't we try skiing with imaginary snow and skis? Nordic backpack skiing. Skate ski with a backpack. As we wind down our Embrace the Suck hike, I was just reflecting on how did it go, what did I learn. One of the things I haven't done much of is dispersed camping, where you have to kind of make your own spot. And so tried it with hardwoods and the evergreens. May or may not have water, and there's no fire ring and stuff like that. But we learned that you can use your vestibule for an emergency bathroom if you don't want to go out in the rain and whatnot. Well, we didn't have fall colors. We got to see some views that we wouldn't have otherwise. And I think variety is good and helps with the overall experience of being outside. One part of the suck that I've got to work on a little bit is hiking in cold rain. I think that wearing a base layer may not have been the best idea. It seems like it just gets all soaked anyway, then you've got to deal with that. And I do want to figure out my rain gear, why it's soaked through. Neither of the items have done that before, so I don't know if it's because of the cold or because I had too much layers underneath. I have to do some more experimenting at home. Good news, the backpack kept the water out. The dampness on the inside was from, it must have leaked out from the tent. Even though the tent bag is waterproof, it's not sealed 100%, so I think a little dripped out of there. But otherwise, it performed really well. You know, hiking in the rain, I actually enjoy it. I like the sound of it. There's different scents and things that come out when it's raining. And so I think that was good. I'm glad I embraced that part of the misery. One thing that I did do well, I think, is to keep my plan flexible. I think it's good to adapt to whatever arises and to try to keep things in balance between embracing the suck and knowing your limits and being conscious of safety. Probably could have done some of this gear testing just at home, but I felt like if I was out here, it would kind of force me to work with it a little bit more and capture a little more emotion. When I realized I had soaked through my primary layer of clothes and was getting colder, there was a little bit of a panic mode that started to kick in, so it was good to have to experience that and work through it and make decisions that would get me out alive. I picked this route because I felt like there were some escape routes if you really needed to, and things like that, since I was going solo and trying out stuff that I wasn't feeling comfortable with. You know, in the summer I think I'm pretty good. Early fall I think I got it down. But there's new stuff that comes with the cold and the wind and different kinds of precipitation and stuff like that. So I was really trying to keep it all in balance. I hope that it was enjoyable for you to experience some hiking in less than ideal, comfortable circumstances, that you had some fun along the way. And anyway, thanks for watching. Throughout the hike, I was doing playful things, and for me it's a part of coping to take the edge and the panic out and all of that, and it just kind of slows me down and grounds me, and hopefully it becomes a good, enjoyable story to watch as well. And so anyway, just wanted to explain why I was doing that. It's kind of like a mindfulness of sorts, in that I'm really focused on the present moment and thinking about how to capture the humor or whatever, and so it does a nice job of slowing me down. I hope that helps with the understanding of that. You know, mindfulness is useful as if you're concentrating on that breathing and the present moment. There's, as I understand it, studies that show that you can be less experiencing of your pain and whatnot. And now that I'm reflecting, I realized when I was in those moments, I wasn't aware that I was so cold and that I was, the wind was biting me and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to think about it that way. And just thought I would share. Basically got ski poles, we got a downhill slope, we've got imagination, so let's put on some snow and do it. So embrace the suck, except that
things are not pleasant, and look for opportunity and adapt. Hopefully, I did a lot of that on this trip, and looking forward to trying more of this another time. I guess I enjoy that aspect of hiking, in that things aren't going to go according to plan and be pleasant. It just makes you, or gives you opportunity to think about things differently, to be creative and think outside the box. I don't know, I think it's really good for us in general, and for me it's just a nice way to make it happen. One of the other things I embraced on this trip was to go in with a heavier pack. I usually start out between 19 and 22 pounds. This one was probably 25, 26, something like that. And so I realized it's doable. I did feel a little bit more than my normal, but it's just nice to know that you can carry extra gear if you need to and want to. Another cool thing about accepting that things are not going to go as planned or be pleasant is that with that always come mistakes and learn trial by error and stuff like that. And I think it's nice just to kind of relax yourself and say, you know what, it's okay, I don't know everything. And it's part of the fun is just learning as you go. I thought I would share that with you. I know some people put a lot of pressure on themselves to have it all figured out at all the times. And yeah, you know what, just slow down and enjoy the process of getting that way, or getting to that point where you are really proficient. So I'm still thinking about the whole rain gear thing. You know, most of the time when I've been in the rain, it's been warmer, so I'm wondering if that's the factor. Like, if it's warmer, it can evaporate and go through the membranes and stuff. And if it's just too cold, that process doesn't happen, or happens way too slow. Anyway, I'm gonna look it up when I get home, see if I can find out. All right, we did it. 20 miles, 3 days, less than pleasant weather, but it was all good. A lot of learnings. And now, hopefully, we'll all go back to our lives ready to embrace the suck. And we know that means things aren't going to work according to plan. It's not going to be pleasant or easy, but there's opportunity for thinking creatively and adapting so that we can thrive and look back and say, man, I got a good story to tell. Thanks for watching. Be good to yourself. Allow yourself to make mistakes and to learn from them.